Okay, so everything you need will be written underneath above the comments, and this tutorial is using up the scrap clay from the feather pendants. Okay, so this is just what's left. So I've got two pieces put to the side. It doesn't have to be this big, probably half that would do, sorry. Two pieces put to the side in the purple and the blue that we mixed. And then here I've got, these are all rolled out in a number 3, except for these, which are a number 5, okay? So these are all rolled out in number 3, and I'm just going to do a quick Makumi Gane and see how it turns out. So I'm just going to start piling them up. I'm going to put the purple at the bottom, then the blue, then the bronze and the rest. And I think I'll just repeat that. Well, actually, I might swap it around a little bit, mix it up, just make sure I don't put two next to each other. It would be good to mix it up, wouldn't it? I'll do this 3 separate piles and put them together where I know they won't be doubling up. Hopefully. Okay, with this one, I'm just going to go copper, green, blue, rust. Sorry, copper, green, copper, purple, rust. So my dog's hairs are all over this. Right, okay, so now I've got to put these together so they don't match. Let's just have a quick look. Okay, so I'll put that one there and that one there. I'll do. Okay, I'm just going to add some pressure, get the air bubbles out. Okay, and I'm going to give it a little roll. Got some clay on me. On the other side. Okay, and then I'm going to cut it in half. Would you stop? Right. I'm just going to roll that again and do that one more time. And that'll be it. And I've no idea really what we're going to come up with. I'm just playing and seeing what happens. I haven't even really planned it that much ahead. But that'll do, and I don't mind. I'm just going to squeeze odd areas in the middle, maybe the corners, and then just push it up, just so I'm making it a little bit irregular. Sides the same. And then I'll just squash it back down. Right, now just going to roll that flat, and then I'm going to get one of these. I wonder whether to run it out thinner. I'm going to put 2 of them on. No, I'm not. I'm going to put them together and re-roll them out on a 6 this time, I think, because it's bigger than I was expecting it to be. See how that works? So I just want it on the top. So I'll just roughly cut it down to size. I'll do. Put that on top. I'll get this tray out the way. Try and get the air bubbles out. And then, I don't know how this is going to work. I did watch a thing on Clay Zoo a long time ago where they, see, that's a bit sharp. I want something rounded. Ideally, I don't have anything narrow enough that's rounded. Okay, I'm going to use the ruler here, and I'm just going to push in, or you can use the blunt side of your tissue blade. I'm not sure how much that's going in. I think I'm going to use the blunt. It's got sellotape on. I'm wondering if that will actually help. Well, washi tape. Right, and I'm going to push that back together. And I'll roll it that way first. I can't even remember if I'm doing it right, but I'm hoping to get some sort of similar look. If I manage to do it, I will put a link to it below. I meant to look at it before I did this, and I'm being naughty. I think they did, I think it was either a jelly roll or a bullseye, and they used white on the top, and it was sort of purples and pinks. But I just want to see if I can get this to go deep enough that they show through as I cut through. I've got a feeling I'm going to cut it and it's just going to be gone for about a quarter of a mil. It won't show. Oh well, let me just close it up a bit. I'm just going to do one more. Just see if it helps. And if not, I'll just see what we do come up with. It's not gone in deep at all, I don't think. I'll do a very thin slice and see how that looks. I probably missed out some element of it. Well, for a start, it's very much more patterny than I wanted. But then that's to be expected because I made the equivalent of absolutely loads of little holes, haven't I? Right, I'm going to roll this out on a 0 and see how it looks and take it down and see if it starts to have a different look as it gets bigger. That's one option. I want it to be more of a pattern than the star of the show in the middle, and I'm putting this in the middle. So just hoping I haven't overdone it. Just want to do a side cut and see what happens. Actually might be better. I've run this through on a 2, so I think it's something's making it very dark. Size of the holes at the moment will be part of that, but oh, actually that's looking nicer now. I'm going to run something beside it so I can stretch it out a bit more. So I'm going to give it a backing, and I use the black because I've got quite a bit of this black clay to use up, so it's ideal for backing with this colour. So I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit more and see if it's just something I like. I might do a side one as well and just see which one comes out best. Right, so I'm going to run this through on a number 3 and hope it'll be enough. I think I'm going to roll a bit more just to be on the safe side. Got a few other colours standing by, bits and bobs, but I don't think I'll need to use them. Colours from the last project, I mean. I tried mixing we did a couple of twirls and that in the, if you did it, in the feather, twisting the colours, and I tried mixing them to see how they came out, but they didn't do anything good. They just sort of came out a dirty shade of. Right, so I'm just going to put this on top of this. Whoa, go right, mate. just cut away these edges. I mean, if this doesn't work, it goes in my scrap clay. I've lost nothing. This is why I like to experiment before I throw it. That's quite nice, but I'm not quite sure it's what I'm looking for exactly for the pattern I want. I'm going to see what the sides come up like first. And I'm actually going to put that back together. And push that down. So I'm trying to change the block shape so the top becomes the side and the side becomes the top, and just see what we got. I think the mistake with that is I used too many colours. I should have just kept it 2 or 3 toned at the most. Right. Ideally I'd leave this to rest, but I want to get it finished, or at least this first part finished tonight. We do have some Sculpey mixed in, so it shouldn't be as bad. So let's have a look at what we've got here. See, that's almost like Natasha bead, isn't it? Well, it would be a Natasha bead, but I'm just playing now to see what happens and comes out of all this. Oh, don't split on me. My own fault, I didn't use the tissue blade. Right, I'm just going to roll that through on a 2 and see what I get, because that middle looks like it's starting to reveal something, but I'm not sure. I think I prefer that to that for what I'm doing. So I just want I want something a little bit more subtle than all the squares. I think they're going to draw you straight in, and I only need the middle of it, so I'm just going to cut it about there. I can use that elsewhere for another scrap project maybe. So I might end up using that too, but my first one, I just want that, I think. Not sure if I want to make it any bigger, because I quite like the way it's quite Natasha looking there. What do I want to do? I'll have a think. Right, the next thing I'm going to do, I only need about half of that. I only need about half of this. Yeah. Right. Got a bit of black in there. I'm just going to give it a mix. Okay, I'll do. So I've got some felt here. I've just used it once practicing, and I'm going to run it through on a number 2. And I'm using this side that's got blue on. Now this felt you get loads of sheets for £1 here, and it gives a lovely felt effect when you do this. Let me just try and see if I can show it you on the camera. I'm not sure whether it will or not, but sometimes you will get the odd little threads, but it's usually not too bad. Now can you see? I'm trying to hold it at an angle so you can see that nice. It's really nice. It takes the shine off, but it's really nice, subtle. I like it, and I think in real time it looks really nice. And I'm going to do the same with this purple, so it might show a bit more. Let me just tidy this up before I run it through. I'm going to do exactly the same with that, and you can see how that looks. It might show more, you never know. That shows less, and I've got a few little hairs this time. Right, let me hold them up together and see if you can see how it takes the shine away and gives a really nice sort of felty look. I really like it. So Right, I'm going to go off air for a minute to try and decide what I want to do next because I'm not quite sure. I'll be back soon and in about a second for you. Okay, so I rolled some black clay out on a number 3. I've put that piece straight down the middle, and then I've got to try and butt these up each side. I'm still not sure what to do to divide them. I think I have an idea, if nothing better comes to mind. I love working like this. I love working where I don't actually know what I'm doing next. I'm the opposite of a planner, you know. Sometimes when the way I see it, or find it, you sort of almost shut your mind down and just let that part of you work. It can still be a disaster, but it's fun trying. You know, I try not to overthink what I'm doing. I'm mindful of colours and textures. But other than that, sometimes right. Okay. So I'm not gonna quite butt them up because I'm gonna just use something to go down the sides. I'm just deciding which colour would be best. I got the choice of those 3 shades. I could mix 2 very easily. So I think the 2 that are going to stand out nicest, to be honest. See, I want to incorporate the gold, but it is very bright, isn't it? I want it to be more subtle. I'm actually going to use these 2, which are similar in colour. Obviously, one's rust and one's bronze, but they're not that dissimilar. So I think they might be more subtle. Just picked up some black there. Oh, and some purple there. You're not a rainbow, mate. Right. Just need to find my credit block and give it a roll. Similar to what I did on the feathers if you watched it. I probably won't need all this as I stretch it out. It's probably a bit much. But I do want to be able to do both sides. I don't think I want to do both sides different colours this time, as I'm not doing all the fancy stuff on there like I was. So I think what I'm going to do here is half this, and hopefully that will be enough for both sides, and then I'm going to repeat it with the copper. If anything, I might add something of gold on top. See what happens, won't we? So I haven't got any air bubbles there. I just want to lift that up and check I didn't. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that'll be enough to use twice as well. I'll just thin it out. It'd be easier to do if it's a little bit smaller. Probably need a bit more off, but we'll see. There's just a simple little no frills. That's about right. I want it to be the same thickness, and it's a bit thinner down the one end. Actually, I think I'll give it a bit more of a roll. Got too much there. It's better. Then I'll halve that. It's a bit longer than the other one, but and a bit thinner, but that's okay. They don't need to be even. They just need to be similar both sides. So I'll knock that to there, cut that off. Knock that to there. Hopefully you can still see this. I've got my light in the way, haven't I? Okay, and I'm just going to twist. And then when I've twisted, I'll stretch it. Just hope that'll look okay down the sides. And then I'll decide what's next. I might end up thinning it out that I only use one of these. I'll just see as I go. There's a little bit of me getting a little idea, although I'm not sure it'll work. I want to kind of keep the texture a little bit. I don't want to flatten it with the acrylic blocks. I'm trying to sort of keep a little bit of a rope look to it rather than just a twisted, you know, colour look like a rock from the seaside. Just trying to get them all even. That needs a bit more. Right. I think that's okay. So absolutely plenty. I'm just going to push that there, put that there, make sure they're both straight. And just for now, I'm going to press them down to the bottom just to keep them in line. Like that. Stay. Do the same with this one. I can see hair. There. Hopefully that'll hold for a minute while I work this out. So I am going to press with this again because I think it looks nicer, plus it holds it down. So because I know it's straight, there you are, that gives a nicer look. Now, just looking for my, I'm looking for my biggest cutters for this, for of a certain shape. This is a smaller than I need, I think. No, too small. Didn't have them ready because I didn't know what I was using. Or, yeah, that's the biggest one I've got. Now, do I make that even over to one side? I certainly don't want it that way. I'm just trying to work out whether I want it even or half. No. I think if I do anything, just look in the camera and see which looks. I think I'm going to keep purple, more of the purple. Now I want to see which part of this pattern I want most. So I think if I take it to about there. Yeah, I'm just going to take it to about there and press down, and I might as well use my acrylic block because it's sat here. Okay, so I wanted a bigger purple size than the blue. Tempted to push down with the felt on the purple again, but it doesn't actually reflect it. They're both done the same, but I can see it quite clearly on the blue and not the purple, which is making me think I cut out the wrong side. I think because the blue was more metallic and the purple was more pearl, it has given a bit of a different effect. And I want to change this anyway. I want to cut this way just because it's my cutters that I don't like the pointy edges. So I'm just going to do that. So And then I'm just going to dome it when I put it on something. I'm just deciding whether it needs anything else to set it off. I'm going to have a little think and I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so what I've done is I've just used a straw, which has gone misshapen, to make a hole at the top there. This might need a little bit of playing around with. And then I've just put it on one of these soap maker domes. I've got a finger cut on because of fingerprints. And I'm trying to add very, very gentle pressure. I don't want to squash it or misshape it. Yeah, but I've just sort of decided sometimes less is more. So I think this might look very nice when it's finished. And I'm not going to do anything to them, but I may resin or varnish this middle. And I could add a few little bits to it then. But at this point, I think this is enough. So I'm just going to put that into the oven at the manufacturer's recommended temperature, and I'll be back soon. Hi guys. Okay, so it's out of the oven, and I literally rolled a number 6, got some more crepe paper, put it on, and put that in the oven. Then I was looking at the front while I did it. A little bit of kato clay slipped there, so I'll sort that out in a minute. So before I put it in the oven, I had another look at the front, and I decided that I wanted to put a little. I don't know if it's easier. If I press this, I forget to come back out. Right, okay. I put a little purple twirl down there. So I literally got the purple clay into a very fine sausage, folded in half and twisted. And then I just applied it there. And I think that just brings the purple over nicely. Oh, see, I go out of it if I stop looking. And then I just did a little flower thing here. Which I'm going to do now again here, because what I did was I made it off of this and then I apply it to it after. It's just my way of doing it, because I've never actually watched one of these filigree YouTube tutorials yet. So I was just sort of messing around my way. So I'll just show you what I did. But I've used all the colours that are in this behind, so it should set it off nicely. Because I think that's the magic of having colours like this together that really do go well. You know, don't just have little piles of colour scrap around and throw it away into your scrap pile, because you could still do the colour scheme's already there for you, the palette. Right, anyway, so for this little flower, this is literally what I did. I want a base so I can put the tissue blade underneath and move it over. Okay, so with that base, if you look at this, I decided to do the purple and the blue. So I've done the purple leaf slightly bigger, blue leaf slightly smaller. So I've rolled this into a sausage. And then I'm going to get my blade. Just cut that off there because it looks a bit thicker. Right, now I'm literally going to do about 8 pieces the same size. Okay, I might not need 8. Sometimes it's a 6, but I'd rather have them all cut now, and then I can always screw them up if I don't use them, can I? So first thing I want to do, I'm going to roll 8 little balls. And I'm putting the outer colour, just what I'm doing so it blends better. I'm putting the outer colour of the flower as the base. If I'd have put the blue underneath, it would have stood out more. And I'm going to have to cut away some of it because I wasn't. Oh, also, I'm avoiding resin at the moment. I'm waiting to find out. I've got pleurisy, but I'm waiting to find out if I've got pneumonia. I don't think I have because I haven't heard from them. But in the meantime, I thought I do want a nice shine on it. So I thought I'm going to have a go at. I used Kato liquid clay over the front. Sorry, I forgot to mention this. I used Kato liquid clay over the front. And obviously that smooths out beautifully. So then I just used the Fimo varnish over the top, and I think with the kato underneath, it's given it a really lovely gloss. Sorry, I'm looking at the pendant, not the screen. I'm going to go back out. It doesn't work doing this because I forget all about it. Yeah, so that's what I've done, and it's given it such a lovely shine. It's almost like, in fact, if I could do that more, I might swap, use resin, not use resin at all, and do that, because I'm going to keep my eye on it, see how it goes. Anyway, I'm gabbling on enough. That's 8. I also want 8 of the blue. Now this looks slightly thicker, so I'm just gonna. Now I want them to be slightly smaller, so they go inside of the first petal. So I'm going to cut 8 of them. exactly the same. So when I've rolled 8 of them, I'll be back. You can see what I'm doing. Right, okay, so I've got my little ball tool, and I'm going to use the bigger side for the outer ones and probably the smaller side for the inner ones. So I'm literally picking up a ball, taking it to the outer edge, and then I push into it and drag it to the middle, and then push it out. You can manipulate it, you know, it doesn't have to stick where you put it. And then I'm going to do it on the opposite side, pushing in, dragging down, and taking it back. And I'll do that again. It looks like it's going to be a 6. So I'm aiming to put 2 each side now. So I'll put that one there. I'm trying to let you see as best as possible, but it's not easy. And then drag it down. Okay, one more there. Push it in, drag it down. And the other side. Push it in, drag it down. Tidy them up after. Just getting them all in place. Okay. Okay, so that's I'm just showing you roughly. And then let's imagine that's perfect. Then I'm going to do exactly the same now. I'm going to put all 6 of the balls just inside the leaf. Let me go close just a second and hope it shows you. No. Right, I'm going just inside the actual first petal. So when I do it, hopefully you can see this, I'm pushing in and putting down, but still the purple one's just on the outside. So I'm just going to do that with all of them. Like I said, you can tidy it up afterwards, just getting them all in place. I must go and watch some of these tutorials because I'm sure there's a easier way of doing things. I know if I had clay underneath I wouldn't need the base, but because I'm doing it on the tile, unfortunately I am. Then you can go around and just imagine that's the one I'm using. It's a bit messy, but I'm just trying to show you how I did it. And then in the middle for the stamen I just plonked one, pushed, and then I just stuck a little diamond in there. Okay, so that's how I did that. My leaves, I don't expect anyone does them like I do them. I just got my own little funny way. So roll it into a ball. Then the only place it ever works for me is on the end of my finger. Just see if it'll push down, that's it. So, hang on, I'm not back out properly, am I? Right. So, there it is on the end of my finger, and I'm just taking the blunt side of my knife and pushing. It doesn't always work first time, so if it goes wrong, I won't be surprised. Sometimes it takes a few goes because it decides to stick. Okay, so there's a very rough version of a leaf. I need to just get that off my finger in one. Turn it round, and then I find the easiest way is to stick the blunt side of the knife there. It will pick it up at some point, and that's when I can squeeze and make it like a leaf, and then insert it. Okay, so that is literally how I'm doing it. So all I have to do now we finish with that, I can put that over with the rubbish. So that's how I finished it off. I don't think I've missed anything out. Now what I need to do is I'm just going to do exactly the same as I did on the Bedazzled feathers, and I'm going to use this Inkago Premium Copper. I'm tempted to put a little bit over the edges of these leaves, but I'm a bit worried too. We'll see as we go. So I'm just going to a little bit of this out. No, I didn't get a sponge out, did I? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be terrible and I'm going to use my finger. Right, the first thing I'm doing is go around the edge, and I only want to do the bottom half. I don't want to, I don't think, or do I? No, I'm going to do the lot actually on this one. Just don't want to go over the edge. Yeah, that looks better. But just keep checking the front that you're not bringing it over. But I think sometimes, I'm really surprised how well this has come out. I thought, well, I'll make something with the scraps. I didn't in a million years think it would come out as pretty as it has, and I'd have just thrown these in a corner somewhere. So it's always worth going back to scraps, especially when you've already got your colour palette. You can create some nice things. And if it's scrap anyway, you've got nothing to lose. Just see what happens. Sometimes you can be really pleasantly surprised with the happy accidents you can get. Okay. So there's the back and the side. I've just got to let that dry. Let me clean my fingers before I even attempt that front. Now, do I add it or do I leave it? It's going to be that colour. So I just sort of thinking I want to edge those. But it might ruin them. What do I do? If I edge the flowers, I might have to edge something else too. I'll have a think anyway. I'm going to let that dry and then I shall be back. Okay. Okay, guys. So there's the back. I've just given it a bit of a buff. Sorry, I've got it in close to try and show you. And there's your front. Hold on. Okay, I just want you to be able to. I did put a little bit of that copper on there, and I think it was the right thing to do because it just gives it a tiny little bit of dazzle. Right, let me come out because I just keep putting everything in the wrong place when I bring it in. Someone asked me if I could do that, but I know from experience my mind goes, it's jumping around, and I just forget, and I don't look at the screen regularly enough already as it is. I'm getting better, but okay. So that's that. And I'm really, really pleased with that because it's got a really nice look about it and keeping those nice colours. Also, I show you my goofs. So I started making this using that folded thing, but I wasn't very happy with it. It's supposed to be off centre like that, but nah. I just thought, no, that's a goof. But what I did do with the rest of the scraps, and I'm just showing you because I'm a real believer in keep looking at what you've got. Let me try this light, see if it helps. No, don't think. So I've done that. This is literally the colours that I've used in that. So I made some scrap with all the dark metals, which gave me like a deep bronze. That one's just keeping the bronze, the original bronze colour. And then all I did was made a funny little cane, just a basic thing, and then started sort of messing around with my poker pen on that one, and that's what I ended up with. And with this one, similar, but I like using these, and I decided to just sort of do some branches and see what happened. I haven't finished them yet. No idea how I'm going to finish them. If anyone's interested, I could do a tutorial on them if they work out well. But I just showing you, don't give up on your bits. There's always more stuff to do. Anyway, that's this done, and I'm really pleased with it. Okay, thank you ever so much for watching.